Finances and Talking to Your Parents About Money with Kathy Pfeffer-Hahn. Finances and, in conjunction with my company, Capital Coaching, helps people achieve their financial goals through personal, tailored, and attentive financial coaching services. Together, we create a successful financial plan by examining your spending and saving habits, then guiding and educating you to your own personal success. Coaching services include evaluation of your spending plan, building your savings, financing your retirement, examining your insurance needs, and planning for your individual goals. Please contact me at capitalcoaching.net to make an appointment for a free consultation. You can also purchase my workbook, Finances and Your Spending Planner Workbook, at lulu.com, LULU.com, or click on the link in the show notes. It is on sale this month, so you can get one now. I've talked to you before about how to talk to your kids about money, and that makes sense. You're the guiding force in their lives. They'll learn so much from you directly and indirectly, but today, the podcast is about the role reversal of counseling your parents after they've been the mentors to you. This week, I've been reading the book, Mom and Dad, We Need to Talk: How to Have Essential Conversations with Your Parents About Finances by Cameron Huddleston. Her advice is here throughout the podcast today. She begins by providing Care.com's 2016 survey results that more than half of the parents surveyed would rather talk to their kids about sex than their parents about money. This topic causes anxiety due to many things. Rachel Cruz at RamseySolutions.com writes, "Parents are the leaders in our lives, our teachers, and that's one reason why it can be so uncomfortable to talk to them about money. We don't want it to come across like we think they don't know what they're doing. After all, they're the ones who are supposed to know more about money. But of course, as situations change, as technology changes, and as their health changes, it's our responsibility, and honestly, our honor, to be trusted with their belief in you when the role has changed to being the one who's trusted." But how do you do this? For starters, broach the subject before you actually want to talk about it. You can do this by sharing something you're reading or a podcast that you're listening to, and share a bit of information. Ask their thoughts. See how much they're willing to talk. Knowing that many families don't communicate about money, you can use that to start the conversation. Tell them that you want an understanding of finances to be a part of your children and your coming generation's considerations, and that you want to make it a part of who you all are. Because mistakes have been made, and they'll continue to be, but by being upfront about it, learning from it, and sharing successes, your family should be able to learn from that financially as well. As you speak with your parents, be kind and listen more than you talk. Learn what you can about their financial thinking and planning. You'll want to understand what they have planned for, or didn't, so keeping notes might be helpful. Rachel also recommends the following questions to begin this conversation. Not all need to be asked. You should be able to decide what seems more natural for you in your situation. What's one of the things that you did with your money that you're most proud of? If you could do anything differently with your money, what would it be? What's the biggest financial risk you took, and did it pay off? What should I make sure to teach my kids about money? What do you wish for me in my finances? This, of course, might be the first time you're engaging them in this topic. Keep your mind open and use grace. No one wants to be judged, so make certain that you're conveying an honest conversation. You can do this even by acknowledging the awkwardness if that's how it feels. Find out what their current plans are. Do they have a will? A trust? Share with them the value of these documents. For starters, their wishes will be followed, and that can be a motivation enough. But reminding them or telling them of others who didn't have a will or trust and the crazy disagreements this can eliminate after they've passed. Let them know of others who did not have a will or trust and the crazy disagreements this will eliminate after they've passed. Believe me, even when the loved one has shared their ideas orally, they don't always get done. Write all of them down. Take time to make sure that you too are getting your documents in order. To find out more, listen to episode 1 that's just on wills, and 96 compares wills and trusts. Talk to your parents about debt they may have. Help them make a plan to pay it down. You can share your own experiences with overcoming financial adversity or your successes. Help them plan out their income and expenses and show them how to improve their situation or to celebrate it. Finances and Your Spending Planner Workbook is a great way to do this as well. Most people find that money is the hardest thing to bring up. But once again, knowing is everything. Do they want to age at home? This is pretty typical. Acknowledge that you'll support them in this. Now find out if they need more support one day, what would they like to see happen? One argument is that they don't want to spend their money on a facility, whether they're active or assisted homes, but remind them this is why they've saved, so that they can be comfortable in retirement. Another topic to cover is long-term care insurance. If your parents are coming up on 60, they can still choose to purchase long-term care insurance to cover nursing homes, in-home care, or assisted living. The average cost without long-term care insurance is $172,000 a year, $7,698 a month for a private nursing care room. But because it offered generous benefits, insurers underestimated how much they'd have to pay out, and it almost bankrupted the industry. Policies now cover less and cost more, but it may still be an option worth pursuing. Carefully understand all the policy is covering or what it's not. Cameron goes on to share 4 fears that kids worry about when bringing up finances. The first is that they may feel like they're being nosy. She suggests that they may be grateful you brought it up, that in the long run, you'll have made the possibility of this conversation and are helping them with their money issues and making them a reality. Some people may worry that their folks will think they're being greedy. Start by sharing your financial journey and let them know you're concerned for their well-being as time goes on. Another concern is that their parents will be offended and that will ruin your relationship. She recommends that you may have to try again and not expect that it will happen in one shot, that this should be an ongoing conversation. But if you're still worried about talking to them, she suggests writing down all of your fears about talking with your parents. Then rate your fear from 1 to 10, along with at least one reason that your fear might not be a reality. Her example is that if you're worried a relationship may be damaged, but the fact is you have a great relationship with them already, that might not actually be a reality. I think that one of the hardest parts may actually be you feeling like you still are trying to make sense of your own situation. It may be that you need to utilize a certified financial planner. These professionals are paid to do what's in your or your parents' best interest. They'll help with tax advantages, investments, insurance coverage, estate planning, and your own plan for your own situation. They really can change your lives. Over half of the adults over 50 years old don't have a durable power of attorney. This is someone who is legally appointed to make sure that their financial wishes are followed when they can't. Maybe your parents cannot make their own decisions due to illness or an accident. The great thing about the durable power of attorney is that it can become effective immediately, or it won't go in effect until they're incapacitated. Your parent decides. You can make no transactions unless they can't do it themselves. These include you'll be able to buy or sell property, manage bank and investment accounts, pay bills, file tax returns, and apply for their government benefits. If it's not in place and your parent becomes incapacitated, the family may have to go to court and have them declared incompetent, essentially the same thing, but in a less timely manner. Money is not all you need to discuss. Almost 50% of adults don't have a health care power of attorney. This document allows a person designated by your parent to make medical decisions for the parent who can't make it themselves any longer. This means that if they're injured or lose cognitive ability, you can make sure the level of care they wanted can be provided. This includes if they're hospitalized and then change their mind about the level of intervention care they want. You become the advocate for them when they can't be, because these cannot be completed after they're left unable to decide for themselves. It is too late then. Another tact would be to share how your finances will be affected if they are prepared through planning now, as well as what might happen if one parent cares for the other and the caregiver is no longer able to. Cameron stresses that the wait-and-see approach is not a strategic plan. Her own family included one parent dying young and the other diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 65. It makes me think about the stories I've heard of friends and peers who have to be thrown into their parents' finances unexpectedly, and they're not ready to manage their parents' life, nor are they always capable. It's also a good idea to involve your siblings. No matter what their level of financial planning abilities, they too need to avoid any resentment or confusion regarding your parents' decisions. Linda Fondrini Johnson, a licensed family therapist, suggests that you and your siblings answer these 2 questions. About whom are you most concerned? And what would you like to get out of this meeting today? No matter what you all answer to these questions, focus on what was the same about your answers. Find common ground. Will just one of you talk to your parents, or will you do it all together? Once you decide, see if your parents have a choice that one of you or all of you are there, and honor their decision. Which sibling is willing to do what? Allow each to work on what is their strong suit or what they're interested in helping with. Consider putting the topics you'd like to cover down in writing. This can be given to your siblings and even your parents ahead of time so that thought can go into their answers. Remember, everyone is acting on what's best for your parents, including your parents. It's hard because so many families avoid talking about money their whole lives, then they have to make choices without truly understanding their parents' wishes or thinking. Episode 63, Why Don't We Talk About Money, has lots more insight into family and their financial dynamics. But share with your parents how you appreciate how they took care of you and explain that you want to be able to return that level of care when it's needed. That no matter what they have decided in their will, you support them, and you want to make sure that their wishes are carried out. And quite honestly, as surprising as it may be to hear what their choices are, it's better to know now when they can share their thinking versus after they're gone. The truth is, you're giving them control when they can make their choices as to when you start caring for them versus having it dropped on you unexpectedly. And research has shown the more people are able to be a part of their own plans, being aware of their death, being able to talk about it, and coming to terms with their own mortality, the less anxious they are about their future. This is Kathy Pfeffer-Hahn. Thanks for listening to Finances and Talking to Your Parents About Money. I know you chose to listen and I'm grateful. And if you enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe for free in your podcast provider and share your favorite episodes with friends. I'd love you to leave a review because it brings financial education to others and helps people find me more easily. Also, be sure and let me know what questions you'd like answered or any topics covered by going to the website at financesand.net and leaving a message. I do appreciate all of your ideas. You can also contact Capital Coaching for your personal financial needs at capitalcoaching.net. Finances and does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing in this podcast is to be construed as such. Always consult a tax, accounting, or legal professional for advice on your specific situation. Remember, I went to school, so you don't have to.